Hello everybody and welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 21. This is Perfect Team and I've got a couple of seasons to update you on since the last video. I've been just a little bit slack over the last 10 days or so. But 2025, I've highlighted it right here. We went 86 and 76 and actually ended up winning the division, making the playoffs, before promptly getting bumped out by the winner of the wild card games in a sweep 3-0. So 86-76 is not an amazing result. I did make a couple of changes at the end of that year, and I'll talk you through a couple of players that I have acquired. And I actually felt pretty confident going into 2026 because some of the changes I've made, I thought, yep, definitely going to give us a bit more offensive power. But as you can see, in 2026... 78 and 85, basically a reversal of the year before, just 479. We were only 1.5 games behind in our division, mind you, for second, but not good enough to make the wild card. And in fact, at one stage, I was only like one game out of relegation. So it just wasn't going good whatsoever, which really surprised me because I'd done a lot of research on my team, and from a ratings point of view and a defensive point of view and all the key things and strategy, I was feeling pretty happy about where I sat. So I was so frustrated. I mean, the funny thing with that season, by the way, I won't have the graph here, but if you look at the graph of our performance for the first 2 months, we at one part of the season early on, we were 6 games ahead in our division, and then we just tanked big time. So that brings us to this year. We're just a month into the new season, 2027, and we're getting a much better result, more in line with what I thought this team was capable of. 607 performance, 17 and 11 on the season, but we're one game behind. And if we take a look, this is a funny thing, this game, I tell you what, it's frustrating. So if you look at this, we're having the best performance we have ever had, and we're one game behind. Look at this division, it's very, very tight. Pound Town loves sausage. Look at that. Oh my Lord. So it's going to be a very interesting division, this one. It looks like it's going to be very, very competitive. But if you look around, we seem to be right up there in terms of the number of games won. There's only this team here, the Johnny'sville Jumbos, 20-7 at a 741 that are really dominating. Denver Bulls also dominating there. But apart from that, it's a very, very even division this year. So hopefully we can go pretty well. So let's go and check out some of the team that I have, or some of the players I should say that I have updated. Geez, I'm not on form tonight, I tell you what. Some of the players that I've added. So if we take a look at performances this year, we've got Tom Heller. He's been around for a while. But here goes probably the biggest pickup that I've had, and that's Bryce Harper. And we picked him up, as I said, 13 games from the end of 2025. And he put a solid performance in at 280 and 345. But last year, not so great on average, which is not that surprising because he does strike out a bit. But a 343 on-base percentage and 428 slugging, it's okay. Did get a 2.9 WAR, so that was more than respectable. 132 hits, which was nice, and 22 homers, so a really nice, solid season. If we look at this year, he's gone really good. I mean, obviously only a month in, but 289 average on a 429 on-base percentage, slugging percentage of 533. OPS at 962, I love it. Already 1.2 WAR. So that's really where I need them to be. One other thing that I was a little bit worried about was going to be his zone rating. His fielding is actually okay. If you take a look, it's he's 65 at right field, 60, 55, 70. So some decent stats there, but I'm always worried about defense. But in this particular case, this year, in fact, he's plus 0.7, so that's fine. Remembering that our previous players have been massive negatives, and it's some of the reason that I've been making these changes. Who else did I add to the team? Look at this, Bryce Harper and Jose Ramirez. This is one surprising thing, by the way. We look at Ramirez last year, just 229 and 320, his worst year by quite a long way. He's been a real star for us, and this is the thing, I just can't get all these guys to perform at the same time. Who else did we add? Let's just go through it. Evan Longoria. So this is a little cheeky pickup through the middle of the last year. Put him into third base, and he's got very nice stats there. And as you can see, he was with LV. He came in 229 and 320. So those are just average stats, really, but an OPS of 705. OPS plus a 92, so not really blowing anything away, that's for sure. But this year started a lot more solidly, 250, 304. That on-base percentage is still pretty low, but he has got an OPS plus of 124. That's much better. If we take a look at his fielding stats, zone rating of 1.3, so yeah, that's nice. So a good defensive pickup for us. I can't remember, I think it was Phil Nevin that we kicked out, who was in the 100s or something for a batting average, so it was definitely an improvement on the team. Apart from that, we brought back DJ Lemahieu, who I think played for us quite a while ago, or maybe he didn't. Okay, maybe I'm smoking something really good there, but he had a really strong year last year, actually 302 and 345, 3 WAR, so a really nice year with 170 hits, 13 homers and 61 RBIs. And once again, we take a look at fielding stats and we'll see, minus 1.1, so not amazing. But haven't got those guys that are like -8, -7, that sort of thing. And that's what I did have in my team. So solid enough. And if you look at the lineup, we've got Jose Ramirez leading off, then Evan Longoria, Bryce Harper, Tom Haller. So a good strong middle of the lineup there. Then Springer, Rizzo, Lemahieu, Peterson, and Tulowitzki. Now, I've been looking to replace Jock Peterson. He, as you can see here, offensively, I should say, not very good whatsoever. Although he has got some decent WAR, and that's probably on the back of his fielding, is it? He has a zone rating of 1.1. And I was definitely focusing on defense there for a while because we were getting absolutely smashed at that end of the field. And so, so he's not really performing amazingly. And once again this year, offensively hasn't really got it going. So definitely like to get him performing just a little bit better. I do need a little bit more grunt through the middle of the order. And I think Jock Peterson's probably the next guy on the chopping block. From a pitching point of view, I'm struggling to figure out some of this. So if we look at, so far this year, if we look at WAR, who's leading, we've got Dutch Leonard there, Shane Bieber and Charlie Morton. We're only a month in. 2 and 4 for Strasbourg, 3 and 2 for Dutch, 3 and 2 for Shane Bieber, 2 and 2. So the starters aren't really, actually our lowest rated starter with the highest ERA has got the best win-loss record, which just proves win-loss record is not the best way to measure players. But if we take a look at these guys, Strasbourg has been pretty good performer for us year in, year out, and once again 2.8 WAR, but only 83 ERA plus, so not amazing, not a great ERA. But 1.8 home runs per 9, 2.8 base on balls per 9, and 7.4. Those are really solid numbers. And he's got a great looking set of skill ratings right here, pitching ratings, I should say. So a good solid starting pitcher. I would expect more out of him, to be honest. But he just he's just a funny one. Dutch Leonard. As you can see here, he's been ERA plus of 105, 112 and 102 for the previous 3 seasons. That's been great with some decent WAR there. Home runs per 9, 1.1. That's right on an average number. Base on balls per 9 of 2.8 is average. 8.1 is good from a strikeout point of view. So he's been quite a good pitcher for us. Kershaw, he's just an enigma. He's just not that good, I don't think, at this imperfect team, and I think the numbers stack up. Obviously he's got a decent WAR. If we look at some of these numbers in here, home runs per 9 is definitely high. Base on balls per 9 is on the higher side, and strikeouts are about average. But I think this movement right here, I really probably need to get him replaced. He's just not that good. One thing I have heard is that the historical cards are much better than live cards. In fact, live cards are not that good. And I would almost have to agree with that based on what I've seen. I don't know why that would be, because you'd expect them that if their ratings are at certain levels, it should be the same outcome. Well, no, it's obviously a bit random, but the same type of outcome over a long period of time, no matter whether you're a historical card or a one-hit wonder card or whatever, compared to a live series card. So that's that there. So our starters have been okay without being amazing. Shane Bieber's actually been pretty good for us. 149 this year. And some decent, okay numbers. Once again, nothing blowing it away. He did have a really good first season with us, actually. So all these wars are okay, but yeah, they're just not dominating, unfortunately. So someone I have picked up is Haben. So I picked. He's only pitched 8 innings, A whip of 0.72, that's nice. No home runs, 1.1 base on balls, that's lovely. 8.6 Ks per 9, so that's been a really good pickup. Because I was struggling, and once again, look at that. He's a one-hit wonder. There you go. There we go. Conspiracy theory confirmed, almost. Very small sample size. But, so he's been a good acquisition because my bullpen has been a little bit suspect. If we look at John Henry Johnson right here, he's another one who's got some really nice numbers in here. But hasn't really put it, he's another one I'm going to have to replace. ERA's not great, but looking deeper into the numbers, they're not really good at all. And this year, again, absolutely smashed. Who has been performing well? Well, Jonathan Papelbon has been pretty solid year in, year out, although looking at this WAR, it's not amazing, is it? I mean, maybe I need to think about a few changes there. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I'm not loving my bullpen. He was, ERA's been pretty solid. If we look at the breakdown here, he's been better than average for home runs per 9. He's been a little bit expensive from a walks point of view, but his strikeouts have been decent. So maybe there is a better closer than him. Maybe I could put in Hendricks perhaps instead. How's he looking? Well, he's been very inconsistent too. Nick Birdie is another one that I'm not too sure whether he was on board last time. But as you can see, none of these pitches are really blowing us away. And the more I'm actually thinking about this, maybe that's where some of my problem is. Although I do know last year we didn't have a huge offensive performance. But, looking at these guys here, there's a few in our bullpen that perhaps haven't been performing as well as I'd like them to either. But definitely in our starting rotation, that's for sure. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Things have been ticking along quite nicely this year, I would say, at 17-11. So if we look at our scores and schedule right here, we've got the new month coming up in April. A lot of green in there, a little bit of red too. But it looks like we're going to be replaying a few teams we've already played. But it's going to be really interesting to see. It looks like a very evenly matched competition. And I just need to probably start thinking strategically around maybe some of these bullpen players and maybe some of our pitchers and start to strengthen that side of the team. I do think we do have a good enough lineup to do some damage here from an offensive point of view. Because look at this, the top, probably that top 6 or so. Top 6 here, top 5 are looking, some really good numbers. Obviously, it's early in the season. But I still think we've got enough offensive ability there to be able to get us through in games. And I think we probably just need to add a bit of depth into our pitching staff. So we'll see how we go. So I'll keep you guys informed. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, everybody, take it easy.